Hey everyone, welcome back. This is going to be part 2 of getting your NFT out there to be sold. So we're going to go over that step by step, coming right up. All right, everyone, welcome back. So last time we set up our collection. Heather, how do you feel about that?
I'm nervous because I feel like you blockchained my face and I didn't want my face to be blockchained just yet. Did you? What's up with this collection? Come on.
We just did it to do it.
We did it. He did it.
Walk everyone through.
No, it's great. I'm so glad that Rich had that set up and we had that entry episode. And I know if you're like me and Rich, honestly, we're both this personality. We are jumpers and we just want to run to the finish line and figure out exactly what we need to do. But it's so important that we have these foundational steps in place so we do things the right way and we don't miss any steps. So last time we talked about building your collection, building out your profile. What are we talking about today?
We're going to go through it. Now, look, everyone, please, although this is going to be step by step, you have to have some of these other things in place. You have to have a wallet. You have to have ETH. You have to have an OpenSea account. You should probably have collections done. So if you haven't done any of those, just refer back to our old episodes and we'll go from there. But I'm going to share my screen. And un momento.
I'm gonna make an NFT.
All right. Y'all remember bomb.com?
Oh, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
That's our thing. So what I did to get there was go to my collections, but let me just go home. We're going to create. Create is the first thing. And all right, here we are. So I'm just going to go ahead and click. We're just going to do an image. This is not something we're going to sell, I don't think, but we're just doing it to do it. Okay, so we're going to do an image, which I was today years old when I found out what PFP stands for. Do you know what that is?
I have no idea. What is it?
I know we hear all the time in the NFT world. It's picture for profile or photo for profile. Essentially, like the NFT project means it's a photo, a picture.
Look at that logo. Okay, logo. Not logo, lingo.
So this is 101,000 downloads depicted on our little analytics screen for our podcast. So thank you, podcast listeners. If you're YouTubers, we want to get to that number as well there. So we got to name this thing, Heather. What do you want to name it? 100K, carat gold? I mean, we could name it anything we want.
Oh my freaking God.
Public typing is in effect. Okay, cool. External link. Do we have an external link we could put this on?
It's interesting. Let's talk about that. What would be the external link? Is that like a web page or what's the point of that?
Probably like NFTs for newbies.io if we had that, which we don't. Hint, hint, you should probably have something. If you're going to mint elsewhere or if you're going to have them exist, like marymods.io, deadheadsmint.io,
we have
whatever
NFTs
it
for
is.
newbies.com. Would we put that?
It's going to tell us if it's valid or not, or I think it's going to check it, but nothing so far. Description, rule the world. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Collection, then it's going to give us our two little places where we have connections. We did bomb.coms as our example video, so we'll put it there. Now, here's the interesting part, Heather, okay? This is completely up to us, and as an owner, I would say that this is going to be kind of critical. Like if we have ones of Heather, like images of Heather, images of me, like we would want to name these characters, right? Like what type are they? Male or female or zombie or ghost or anything like that. Here's where you're going to name these things. This is like the big category.
Well, okay, let's talk about this because I think a lot of people are creating NFTs that aren't female or male. Like right now we have a graphic or whatever. So what would we put beside there? I mean, does it matter? Just like
I'll put milestone.
Okay.
Name 100K.
Okay.
I'll just put that. Okay.
And you can add more, it looks like.
So then levels, we're going to put the value. Okay. So what number is it of what, right? So let's just say milestone. We could just call this is like a really shitty example, but whatever, graph. This is going to be a 1 of 1. That's important to know because that's going to kind of help determine some of the rarity, right? Like you don't want, 979 out of 10,000. That's not huge, right? So a 1 of 1 and it's a graph. Stats. This is going to be numerical things. Essentially, it's just all it means is it's going to break down percentages and it's going to break down percentages of the traits. Now, here we go with unlockable content. I think this is pretty cool. Include unlockable content that could be revealed. It says enter content, access, key, code to redeem, link to file. If we had an awesome message, Heather, like the type of thing you and I would do is be like, dude, thank you so much for buying this. Like you're a part of history. NFTs for newbies, the sky's the limit. We're going to space and it's a video. Or maybe it's a link to a course that we do on how to create an NFT. I have no idea, but this is unlockable content. I think that's super dope. Explicit content, your boys involved? Yep. All right. Supply. Now here is what everyone is going to ask about. I guarantee you this. I can't change this to other than 1. This is what makes it non-fungible. Okay, so if there's no way I could add more to that, it says the number of copies that can be minted. No gas cost to you, quantities above 1 coming soon. But right now it's only limiting it to 1. Now the question you're going to have here is maybe, or at least I had, how am I going to do 10,000 if I have a 10,000 NFT project? I'm going to have to manually freaking upload all these things. The answer is no. And we're going to get to that at the end of the episode with our good friend who hooked us up. Okay. Blockchain that we want to sell it on is going to be ETH or Polygon. We covered that in the collections, and then create.
Wow.
Here we go.
This is so interesting.
You created, oh my freaking God. So now I could share that we created it. Okay, so check this out. I could go ahead to sell, but let's just look down and see what's going on here. It's minted.
It's minted?
Okay, this is minted from null address to you. It's now on the blockchain. Yes. And if I click that, let's see, here's details. It's got a contact address. It's got a token ID. It's on the blockchain, the Ethereum blockchain. And here we are, Heather. So we
just
literally
made an NFT.
It's that simple, apparently. And then we go to sell. And I think we did this already because we've done how to sell, but we're selling our own in this case, not one that we own. It's the same thing. We own it because we made it, but same thing. So you could refer back to that episode, but there it is, man. Like, that's it.
Like, I oh my freaking God. You know what's crazy about that is you going through those processes, some of those things, you know, the character and the gender and the traits and all that, you know, it's easy to make an NFT, but if you think about it, we just minted that and that's permanent. And we can't edit that at all.
I could delete it. I could burn it. And I mean, like, let's just look, like, just in case any of you guys are scared, let me go ahead and delete it and just see what happens. So I could go to more. No, nothing there. I could go to edit. Delete item.
Interesting.
Or I could submit changes. Maybe I wanted to add some more traits.
Change. Maybe because it's not been sold yet.
I believe once it's sold. This is a very good question, and I think we'll have to follow that up in the next episode. Yeah. But you want me to go ahead and delete and see what happens?
Let's see what's going on.
Are you sure you want to delete this item? This can only be done if you own all copies in circulation.
Okay.
Yeah. Deleted. Changes will take a minute to affect. And what happens is I'll go to our collection. It's still there, but I guarantee if I refresh in a second, nothing's going to be there, or it'll take a minute.
So the next thing I think we need to figure out is how do we build how do we put a smart contract in with that?
So glad you asked that. We had our friend Jake from Happy Land Gummy Bears come on because I said, dude, this doesn't make sense. Like, where's the smart contract? How is this minted? And what if I want to upload 1,000, even 500? That's going to take me forever. And here's what he had to say.
Hey, what's up, guys? So if you want to upload a ton of NFTs without doing it manually on OpenSea in their listings, for example, like the 10,000 PFP collection that you see, for example, like Bored Apes, right? They went through what's called a smart contract. And so to keep it simple, you just need to hire a blockchain developer. They will create this coding in what's called a smart contract that's online, it's on the blockchain. They'll help you deploy it and they will add all the information that you need basically. So the 10,000 NFTs, they can also do the metadata. So like the traits or the property aspects of your NFTs, like the different head combinations, mouth, eyes, clothes traits, all that good stuff. You can find these developers in lots of places. You can go on Upwork.com, which is a freelance website. You can hire one out. You can go in NFT Discords. You can go ask around. You can go on Twitter and look. You can go in different projects and see if, there's any developers that are just working third party. Prices can vary, you can do your research on that, but they would take care of all that stuff for you. They'd be able to upload the 10,000 or the 5,000, 1,500 NFTs that you need. They'd be able to do the traits and it would show up on OpenSea, and then they could do the minting from your website as well if you want to do that instead of minting directly from OpenSea. Hopefully that helps a little bit, but yeah.
All right, Heather, what'd you think about that?
I think it helped a ton. I guess it makes sense that we would hire somebody to do that. And it makes me feel a little bit relieved. Like, I don't have to be writing no smart contracts. I don't have to be figuring that out. Yep. That's actually handled by somebody else. We need to find somebody who does that and have them on the show.
Exactly. So we were actually approached by an amazing project coming up and we might partner with them. And they told me that they had their developer and it was $8,000. I have no idea the context, right? Like I have no idea if that's expensive. I have no idea if this is cheap. So one design, let's just say we're going to do an alien, right? Like bald alien or something like that. It's 8,000, and then he could put all the traits on and create all those combinations. So what we're going to have to do for the next episode, or when we actually create our own, if we're doing a PFP, which I don't think you want to do, and I understand why, we could do a smart contract and they could add all the traits and do all these things. Like Gary Vee, for example, he made like 100 drawings, but then, had to get a smart contract, and then he minted elsewhere, and then you import to OpenSea.
Even if we're not doing traditional art, like let's say we're doing, a video or an audio piece or whatever, we can still have smart contracts within those. So we'd still need to hire this developer just for a smart contract in general, even if they're not doing all the trait stuff.
Yes. So like the only other way around it is just if we wanted a very, very small 10 NFT project, we could do those manually, but we don't want to do any of that, right? Like we want to have substantial things for our community, and that's the bottom line. So the only other thing I wanted to mention, and we will go over this in our next video, or if we decide to get a developer and do something just as an example for you guys, is that a lot of people mint elsewhere first, and then they import that, I believe, the smart contract onto OpenSea, and then it becomes spread all over OpenSea and you can do your thing. So that's not uncommon at all from what I see. And a lot of that is because, and I had a conversation with one of our friends at Deadheads, is the reveal. If we have a project that has 1,000 things, and if someone gets number 307 and someone gets number 409 and whatever it is, we could just make it like a picture that changes, okay? But you don't know what you're going to get. That reveal is super exciting when people are minting. No one knows what they're going to get. No one knows what traits they're going to have. They don't know if it's rare. So they don't want it all visible on OpenSea. So that's where you're definitely going to have it minted or available elsewhere before you import it. And that's how they kind of go about it. So real crazy stuff, right? For us newbies, it's like blowing my mind, but we're going to make sure it's completely clear. But by the end of this episode, Heather, do you think you could create an NFT right now?
I do, but I do see how like it is easy to create an NFT, but what makes things special and what makes things actually seem like they sell and create a demand is some of this higher level stuff. And so, yeah, we can easily create an NFT, but are we investing our time into building a community and a brand where people want to buy? And also, too, are we investing our dollars and our time understanding like the high end developmental stuff that goes into it? It's nuts.
Yeah. So, like, this is why there's a lot of supply. This is why people could get ripped off. People get ripped off because this is exactly what all the naysayers at the beginning would say. Screenshot, upload it, create NFT, I'm selling it, and someone falls for it and be like, this is a Mary mod. No, it ain't.
No, it ain't, Jack.
So thank you guys for joining. Ring the bell so that way you get notified whenever we are on. And if this was helpful or we could have done better, we could take it. Just
Not
let us
too
know in the
much.
comments. All right.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, we can take it. Bye.